Are you aware that filing for your Social Security benefits could be one of your biggest financial decisions as you plan for retirement? Most retirees, they falsely believe that filing for Social Security is simple. During your working years, 12.4% of every paycheck went into the Social Security system. And then when you retire, you simply file for your benefits and you receive a check every month for the rest of your life until you pass away. However, it's not that simple, because how and when you file for your Social Security benefits could end up having a massive negative impact on your benefits, your taxes, your Medicare premiums, as well as your other income sources. Yet even the most sophisticated investors, they don't even get this right. And one wrong move could end up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement income. In fact, Forbes said that 96% of Americans lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security benefits. Welcome to Redefining Retirement. I'm your host, Chris Abts from Cornerstone Wealth Management, and this is where you can count on straightforward and objective advice on the toughest challenges you'll face in retirement today. And coming up on today's show, we're going to look at 5 common myths about how and when to file for Social Security that could cost you a fortune, along with what you can do to get the most of your benefits. Here's what's coming up. Now, if there's a 25% reduction, their monthly check, it would drop by $1,000. It's likely going to amount to at least $500,000 in Social Security benefits, and probably a whole lot more. So to get this right, you need to evaluate it from an income and from a tax perspective. So here's an example. What if you have a pension and you elected the life-only option? I'm really excited about today's topic. So sit back and relax. Redefining Retirement starts right here, right now. Saving for retirement is a great start, but it's what you do with your money that really matters. Success in retirement, it really comes down to reducing your taxes, generating your income, minimizing your risk, maximizing your Social Security, and more. Welcome to Redefining Retirement. I'm Chris Abts from Cornerstone Wealth Management, and this is where you can count on straightforward and objective advice on how to make the most of every dollar you've saved for retirement. Now, we've got a great show for you today. Lots of great information. And today, we're going to look at 5 myths about how and when to file for Social Security that could cost you a small fortune, as well as what you can do to get the most out of your benefits. You see, when you file for your Social Security benefits, there's a list of questions that you must ask and areas that you must pay attention to that, if not addressed, could end up having a massive negative impact on your benefits, the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your other sources of retirement income, increases in your Medicare premiums, your spousal benefits, and the list goes on. And if you get this wrong, it could needlessly cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in benefits. So if you're within, say, 5 years of filing for your Social Security benefits, this is super important for you to understand. So coming up on today's show, we're going to look at 5 common myths about how and when to file for Social Security that could cost you a small fortune, as well as what you can do to get the most out of your benefits. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to determining how and when to file for your Social Security benefits, most retirees, they get this wrong. Now, although many retirement experts say that this is one of the most important decisions that you'll make as you plan for retirement, it is extremely common for people to have a conversation around, say, the water cooler, where they discuss things like, hey, how should I take my Social Security? And while everyone gives plenty of thought and worry about their retirement accounts, like, say, their 401k or IRA, for many retirees, Social Security could actually be an even bigger financial decision for so many retirees. So here's an example. If you're single and you add up the amount of money that you'll likely receive from Social Security during your retirement years, it's likely going to amount to at least $500,000 in Social Security benefits, and probably a whole lot more. Now, if you're married and you add up the amount of money that you'll likely receive from Social Security during your retirement years, it's likely going to be at least double that. So that's at least $1 million which makes how and when that you file for your Social Security makes that a $1 million decision. So think about that for a minute. Therefore, Social Security, it's very likely one of the most important decisions that you'll make for your retirement. So let's jump into today's topic, which is the 5 common myths about how and when to file for your Social Security that could cost you a small fortune. And again, we'll also talk about what you can do to get the most out of your benefits. So let's jump in. Myth number 1, your Social Security will not be taxed. Now, before 1983, this was true. At that time, Social Security, it was actually about to go bankrupt. So Congress, they began to tax it. Now, they didn't tax all of it. The maximum amount of your benefit that was taxed as ordinary income was 50% of a retiree's benefit. And then 10 years later, when Social Security again ran into financial problems, well, then what they did is they increased it, and they said that up to 85% of your Social Security would be taxed as ordinary income. Yet today, many people do not realize that their benefits are going to be taxed, and that can be a problem. And if you don't plan properly, this can become a really big number. Now, another area I want you to watch out for, which is like another form of taxation, it's the annual Social Security cost of living adjustment. You see, without realizing it, this can actually force you into a higher income tax bracket, right when you're at a time when you're not prepared for it. And this is something that's been reported on by places like the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, and the list goes on. In other words, if you're not aware of this could trigger higher taxes, and that's why it's referred to as the tax torpedo. So here's an example. Let's say you're taking your Social Security. You're then taking your required minimum distributions from your IRA or your 401k. And maybe you have some pension or maybe some other income. And then when you add it all up, you could very easily get forced into a higher tax bracket, which could also cause your Medicare premiums to double. So the problem just snowballs. So clearly, how and when you file for your Social Security benefits, it will have an impact on your taxes. It will have an impact on your Medicare premiums, and the list goes on. So as a result, up to 85% of your benefits can be taxed and included in your adjusted gross income, which means the money that you're counting on to help pay for your retirement, it could be a whole lot less than you thought. And that's why it's wise to learn what you can do to eliminate or at least reduce the taxes on your benefits, which in turn keeps more of your Social Security income in your pocket. So that's why we put something together for you. I want you to learn how you can reduce or potentially eliminate the taxes on your Social Security benefits with our free, customized Cornerstone Retirement Social Security Benefits Analysis. Now, this analysis, it will help you to identify the strategies available to you that can help you to save a lot in taxes. It can show you exactly when to file for your Social Security benefits, as well as help you to optimize your income in your retirement. It can help you to possibly get more from your Social Security benefits as well. It can also help you identify if you're eligible for any other benefits that could many times add up to thousands of dollars every single year. So, if you saved at least $250,000 for your retirement, and that you've not yet filed for Social Security, give us a call to schedule your analysis. And when we come back, we're going to answer a common question, which is, could Social Security go bankrupt? And if so, what happens to your benefits? We'll be right back. Could your tax bill in retirement be larger than you think? Taxes can play a significant role in retirement. After all, they determine how much of your hard-earned savings you get to keep and how much you send to the IRS. If you're like many savers, you may not know the total amount of taxes you could potentially pay. I believe information is critical to making informed decisions about retirement. If you agree, I want to share a resource that can help. Use your phone camera to scan this QR code. It will take you to a page that generates a quick report that can help evaluate your potential tax bill in retirement.
At Cornerstone, we believe you should be able to enjoy the retirement you have always wanted. To help you see your retirement strategy from all angles, we created a retirement roadmap, which is designed to help you discover the knowledge you need to take control of your money and live a confident retirement regardless of what challenges arise. So you envision the life you want to live, and we can help you create a plan that leads you down that path. Join us for a conversation about your vision for your ideal retirement by calling the trusted professionals at Cornerstone.
Welcome back to Redefining Retirement, where you can count on straightforward and objective advice on how you can maximize every dollar you've saved for retirement. Now, today's retiree, they're facing a longer retirement than prior generations, which will make financial and other life decisions infinitely more complicated due to things like market volatility and inflation, rising healthcare costs, and the list goes on. So to help you to make wise financial decisions, today we're focusing on an important area of your retirement planning, and that is your Social Security benefits. And we are dispelling 5 common myths about how and when to file for Social Security that could cost you a small fortune, along with what you can do to get the most out of your benefits. Now, before the break, we looked at the first myth, and that was about taxation of your benefits. And we learned that without proper planning, not only can up to 85% of your benefits be taxed as ordinary income, but this can also lead to higher Medicare premiums. It can also force you in a higher tax bracket on your other sources of retirement income, and the list goes on. So let's now take a look at another common myth about how and when to file for your Social Security benefits that could cost you a small fortune. And this one, it just happens to be one of the biggest concerns of so many retirees, and that is, could Social Security go bankrupt? And if so, would my benefits be in jeopardy? Now, the answer to this problem, it comes down to something very simple. It comes down to simple math. See, several decades ago, there were literally 42 workers paying into the Social Security system for every one person that was receiving a benefit. So 42 to 1. Now today, there are millions of boomers retiring every year. And there's not enough people that are remaining in the workforce that actually pay into the program. So as a result, there are literally less than 3 people paying into the system for every single retiree that's receiving a benefit. So 3 to 1. So as a result, the Social Security Trust Fund, it is projected to run out of money around the year 2033 or 2034, depending on which report you look at. So that's about 10 years from today. And when that happens, there's going to be millions of very angry retirees. So, if Social Security does go bankrupt, what exactly does that mean? Well, the CBO, that is the Congressional Budget Office, they recently addressed this major financial challenge that the Social Security program that it's facing, and they projected that if Congress does not make changes soon, that your benefits will be reduced by 25%. So think about that. So to illustrate what this would look like, let's take an example of a husband and wife that together, let's say they receive $4,000 a month in Social Security benefits. Now, if there's a 25% reduction, their monthly check, it would drop by $1,000. So they would go from $4,000 a month to $3,000 a month. Now, I want you to imagine how that would feel. Due to inflation, we've seen the cost of living. We've seen the cost of living rise on everything from food, gas, just about everything out there. Now, if you're on a fixed income, having your income reduced by 25%, I'd say that would be devastating. All right, let's now take a look at the Social Security cost of living adjustments. Because many people, they falsely believe that Social Security actually keeps up with inflation through these annual cost of living adjustments. Now, the cost of living increase, so last year, 2023, it was 8.7%. This year, it's only 3.2%. And as you know, actual costs, they have increased more than this, which just goes to show that while they do help, the Social Security cost of living adjustments, they don't keep up with inflation. So not only do taxes reduce your benefit, but over time, inflation it also acts like another tax on your Social Security benefit. So, boomers are concerned their benefits will be cut by 25%, and then younger workers are thinking that there won't be anything for them when they retire. So, David Walker. David Walker was the former Comptroller General of the United States government. So he was like the country's CPA. He's also the author of the book titled Come Back America. And he laid out what needs to happen to save the Social Security program. He said, well, for one, we must see higher taxes for everyone. And if we look to see what Congress has done to fix this Social Security program in the past, it should give us a pretty good idea of what they will likely do to fix it again in the future. So what have they done in the past? Well, they've increased taxes on the benefits. They increased the payroll tax for those people still working. They increased the cap on the amount of income that's taxed. And they have deferred the age for younger retirees for full retirement. So it's probably realistic to expect an increase in the maximum tax on your Social Security benefits. I think it's realistic to see that tax go from 85% to meaning 100% of your benefits could be taxed. Now, they might even begin a means testing program for future beneficiaries. And while no one will like any of these changes, well, let's be honest, they must happen because Social Security, it is the backbone of retirement in our country. And no, Social Security is not an entitlement program the way many people think about it. It's an earned benefit. See, you paid for it by having 6.2% of your income from every check from when you started working as a kid, as well as 6.2% as a match from your employer. Ever since that very first paycheck from your very first job, that may have been back in high school. All right, so let's now tackle the third myth, and that is, I'm delaying my Social Security benefits so I can get the biggest check. Unfortunately, deferring benefits until age 70, it's often sold as this no-brainer, but that's not necessarily true. See, delaying your benefits until 70, yes, it will get you your biggest check because of guaranteed compounding that 8% growth, as well as the annual cost of living adjustments. But when you factor in things like the taxes on your benefits, the impact of required withdrawals from your IRA and 401k, the resulting higher Medicare premiums. So then, as a result, all too often, delaying benefits can actually end up costing you money. In other words, you could actually end up with less net income from your Social Security by delaying till later. So think about it. Every time you take money out of your IRA and your 401k, you are taxed on that withdrawal. The same goes with your pension. And then you add a larger Social Security check on top of that. Before you realize it, you are pushed into a higher income tax bracket. And then your Medicare premiums, well, those increase as well. All because you didn't do the proper planning. Now, unfortunately, I see this all the time. People make a mistake. They then come into our office some years later once they realize they made a mistake. And at that point, unfortunately, it's too late. See, this isn't as simple as take it at 62 or defer it until age 70. Filing for Social Security, it could be one of your biggest financial decisions as you prepare for your retirement. And the difference between your best case and your worst case could literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars of lifetime income. So you want to be 100% certain that you get this right. And to do this right, to know what's best for you, you need a thoughtful plan. That's why we put something together just for you today. And that's why I want you to receive the maximum net Social Security benefit that you are due. Because based on what we're learning today, you could end up with a whole lot less than you thought. And according to Forbes, 96% of Americans lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. Now, would it bother you if you missed out on $111,000 of income in retirement? Of course it would. So let's make sure this doesn't happen to you. I want to help you discover how to avoid losing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in Social Security income with our free, customized, Cornerstone Retirement Social Security Benefits Analysis. This will show you when you should file to get the most net income from your Social Security benefit. At the same time, we'll help you to identify the most appropriate strategies to reduce your taxes, maximize your spousal benefits, minimize your Medicare premiums, and so much more. Now, many advisors will charge several $100s for an analysis like this, or worst, most advisors, they don't even offer this as a service. So, if you've saved at least $250,000 for your retirement and you have not yet filed for Social Security, give us a call to schedule your free analysis. And coming up after the break, we'll answer another common question we hear a lot, and that is, am I eligible for spousal benefits? We'll answer that when we return.
Approaching retirement requires a shift in how you view your investment and income portfolio. Are you making the transition successfully? Author Chris Abts, in his latest book, Maximizing Your Income, will show you how to structure your income while avoiding 10 retirement pitfalls. You'll also learn 3 strategies to create sustainable retirement income. Learn to plan for potential healthcare costs and how to avoid 4 common yet costly Social Security mistakes. The information you gain from this book may help you retire sooner and help you stay retired. Get your complimentary copy today at maximizingyouриncome.com and take control of your retirement.
Stay informed on the latest news and events affecting retirees at cornerstoneway.com.
Want to learn how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement? You've come to the right place. Welcome back to Redefining Retirement. Social Security, it's an asset to you. And for a growing number of retirees, it represents their only guaranteed source of retirement income. Yet the average retiree misses out on over $100,000 of benefits simply by filing incorrectly. And that doesn't even include the tax savings you could create. So today, we're dispelling 5 myths about how and when to file for Social Security that could cost you a fortune. Now, filing for your Social Security benefits at the wrong time, well, that can have a huge chain reaction on other areas of your retirement plan. So, for example, the amount of taxes you'll pay in your retirement benefits, well, that could be impacted by how and when you file for Social Security. It can also impact the taxes on your IRA and your 401k withdrawals and other investment income. It can even impact your spousal benefits and your Medicare premiums as well. Now, why is it important to make a good decision about how and when to file for Social Security? Because it could be one of the biggest financial decisions you make when it comes to planning for retirement. And as we learned earlier, for a single person, your total lifetime income from Social Security will likely exceed $500,000. For a married couple, it's likely over $1 million. So for most retirees, that's a big financial decision. And while filing for Social Security sounds simple, in reality, it can be complicated and confusing when you're trying to determine when is the right time for you to file. And according to Forbes, it is common for Americans to lose out on more than $100,000 in lifetime benefits. Welcome back to Redefining Retirement. I'm your host, Chris Abts from Cornerstone Wealth Management, and today we're looking at 5 common myths about how and when to file for Social Security. So let's take a look at the 4th myth, and that is only a widow can get spousal benefits. I find there's a lot of confusion around spousal benefits. For one, many people falsely believe that you cannot claim a spousal benefit unless you're a widow or widower. The truth is that you can typically qualify for survivor benefits or widow benefits if you're at least 60 years of age and were married for a minimum of 9 months. That's it. And if you were already receiving spousal benefits when your spouse passed away, you can switch over to the survivor benefit, which is usually 100% of your deceased spouse's benefit. But people sometimes, they come into our office and they say something like, I don't have any Social Security benefits, or I have very little in benefits because I stayed at home taking care of the kids. That's not true, because there's something called a spousal benefit, and you can probably get it even if you don't have your own benefit. And many times, it can even be larger than your own benefit. Unfortunately, many people don't realize this, and they end up missing out, or they end up getting a smaller benefit than they could be receiving. And this leads to the final myth, which is the Social Security Administration will help you to choose the right option. It's important you understand that the Social Security office, they cannot give you customized advice for your specific situation. In fact, they are prohibited from giving you customized advice. Now, the folks working down at Social Security, they're all good people and they're smart, but they don't know your specific situation. They don't know your tax situation. They don't know what your IRA and 401k withdrawals will be and how that might affect the tax on your benefits. They don't know if you have a pension or any other source of income or retirement income. They don't know how that decision will impact your Medicare premiums, and the list just goes on. So to get this right, you need to evaluate it from an income and from a tax perspective. So here's an example. What if you have a pension and you elected the life-only option? Well, all of this factors into how and when you should take your benefits. Personally, I also think the good folks at the Social Security Administration, I think they're overworked and understaffed. In fact, they hit their lowest level of employees in 25 years at a time when we have the largest amount of people retiring. That's why it's taking so long to get an appointment and why it takes like 3 to 5 months to get a decision. So even when they want to give you some information, they probably can't. And knowing when is the right time to file, it can be complicated and confusing. Yet you've got to make sure you're making the right decision for your situation. Now, filing for Social Security, as we learned, it's a big financial decision. And it impacts so many other areas. So things like your income, your taxes, your IRA and 401k withdrawals, your Medicare premiums, and the list goes on. So make sure you're working with someone that understands Social Security and can help you make the right decisions. Now here at Cornerstone, Social Security, it's an important piece of your retirement puzzle. And when it comes to retirement planning, it starts with income planning. And getting a customized analysis for how and when you should claim your benefits, that's an important part. And that helps to make sure that you're not part of the 96% of Americans that will lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security benefits. Next, we'll look at your investments. We'll look at ways to minimize the risks so you can retire when you want to. Retirement, it's not built on investment portfolios. It's built on dependable and predictable income streams. And you can retire when you have enough reliable income coming in that pays for your lifestyle. But we also have to factor in for things like inflation. So we need to plan for that as well. Next, we'll look at taxes, and we'll help you to implement the strategies that are best suited for you to minimize those taxes all throughout your retirement. Next is healthcare. We'll help you with the plan for that as well. And then finally, your legacy plan. That's where your wills, trusts, and powers of attorney come into play to ensure that the money that you work hard for, make sure it will go to your loved ones and charities the way you want. We bring all of these different areas together into one cohesive retirement plan. That's what we do. So to make sure that you don't file for your Social Security benefits at the wrong time and miss out on a bunch of income that is rightfully yours, we put something together for you. I want to help you discover how to avoid losing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime income with a free Cornerstone Retirement Social Security benefits analysis. We'll show you the exact timing for you to get the most from your Social Security, how to reduce the taxes on your Social Security by as much as 85%, how you could avoid doubling your Medicare premiums, and so much more. So if you've saved at least $250,000 for your retirement and have not yet filed for Social Security, call today to schedule your analysis. That's our show, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Jolly good show.